ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we will continue this chapter, text 26 of the 12th chapter that we are seeing. So we were seeing this aspect of the creation by Lord Brahma. So he first of all created the um, four Kumaras, and then they didn't want to get married and procreate children. So then, out of anger, Lord Brahma created Rudra, and he ordered him to go and procreate. And he started procreating, but then he started destroying the universe. So then Brahma called him back, saying that no, I'll call you back later. Now you do tapasya. So now it is not time for destruction. So then he, with proper deliberation, he created further progeny and various personalities like Angira, then what is that? Um, I'm not able to remember the names now. Uh, Pulatsya, Angira, Atri, and all these personalities, Vashishta, Bhrigu, and Kratu. These are all like different personalities. They were formed, by the this one by the meditation of Lord Brahma. So now these people are going to further uh, expand the creation. So now, and each of them, like how did they come out? So that portion that is explained now in the 26th. So we have the explanation of one particular this one. So let's see the 26th sloka. Hridikamo Bruvakrodo Lobaschadara Dachadat Ash Asyad Vaksindavo Medran Nirritir Nirritihi Payor Agashrayah. Lust and desire became manifested from the heart of Brahma, anger from between his eyebrows, greed from between his lips, the power of speaking from his mouth, the ocean from his penis, and low and abominable activities from his anus, the source of all sins. So, this is how various things have come from Lord Brahma. So, in fact, everything that is existing in the creation, be it the conditions of lust, anger, desire, and things like that, or be it the people, or be it the material elements, everything is created by Brahma within the universe. So all the various things that are created is mentioned here. Purport: a conditioned soul is under the influence of mental speculation. However great one may be in the estimation of mundane education and learning, he cannot be free from the influence of psychic activities. Therefore, it is very difficult to give up lust and the desires for low activities until one is in the line of devotional service to the Lord. When one is frustrated in lust and low desires, anger is generated from the mind and expressed from between the eyebrows. Ordinary men are therefore advised to concentrate the mind by focusing on the place between the eyebrows, whereas the devotees of the Lord are already practiced to place the Supreme Personality of Godhead on the seat of their minds. So for devotees, this kind of meditation focusing on middle of the both the eyebrows, this is not needed because they are already taking darshan of the Lord and they are trying to place the Lord in the mind. So they don't need this kind of meditation. So the theory of becoming desireless is untenable because the mind cannot be made desireless. When it is recommended that one be desireless, it is understood that one should not desire things which are destructive to spiritual values. So it's something like do not drink and drive. It doesn't mean we should not even drink water. Do not drink and drive means we should not take liquor and drive. So in the same way, like desirelessness means one should not desire anything material or something that is destructive to spiritual values. A devotee of the Lord always has the Lord in his mind, and thus he does not need to be desireless because all his desires are in relationship with the service of the Lord. The power of speaking is called Saraswati or goddess of learning, and the birthplace of goddess of learning is the mouth of Brahma. Even a man is endowed with the favor of goddess of learning. It is quite possible for his heart to be full of lust and material desires, and his eyebrows to display the symptoms of anger. One may be very learned in the mundane estimation, but that does not mean that he is free from all low activities of lust and anger. Good qualifications can be expected only from a pure devotee who is always engaged in the thought of the Lord or in samadhi with faith. Okay. Samadhi means a constant meditation on the form of the Lord or on the lotus feet of the Lord. That's called samadhi. Okay, text 27. Chayayaha kardamo jagne devahut devahutaya pati prabhu manaso devadat dehatas jagne vishwakruto jahat. Sage Kardama, husband of great Devahuti, was manifested from the shadow of Brahma. Thus, all became manifested from either the body of or the mind of Brahma. So we see that everywhere, like all the different parts from different parts of the body of Lord Brahma, so various things is actually coming. Various things are coming out. Purport. Although one of the three modes of material nature is always prominent, they are never represented unalloyed by one another. Even in the most prominent existence of the two lower qualities, the mode of passion and ignorance, there is sometimes a tinge of mode of goodness. So that means in the material world, there is no clear, pure quality. You cannot say this person is fully in ignorance only, like he doesn't have any other qualities. So it will always have all the three components. Maybe one of it may be more, or two of it may be more, like that. So, therefore, all the sons generated from the body or mind of Brahma were in mode of passion and ignorance, but some of them, like Kardama, were born in the mode of goodness. Narada was born in the transcendental state of Brahma. So, Narada is like devotional incarnation. So, he was like fully transcendental. Text 28. Vacham duhitram tanvim swayambhur harathim manah akamam chakame shattah sakama iti na shrutam. O Vidura, we have heard that Brahma had a daughter named Vak who was born from his body and who attracted his mind towards sex, although she was not sexually inclined towards him. So this is a one famous story is there of how this Vak Devi, like this is a daughter of Lord Brahma. So, but then like once she was born, so like Brahma got attracted towards herself, and she wanted to have he wanted to have sex with her, and she was not inclined towards this. So this is like the powerful attraction of the senses. Senses are very very powerful. They may get attracted, so that's why it is mentioned that a man who's trying to control his senses, he should not be even alone with his own daughter, like mother or sister. So that is what is mentioned. Like should the senses are very powerful. So and in connection with this, there is another pastime is there, which is leading to the birth of Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna's appearance. So Brahma's like Marichi's sons, no 6 sons, they kind of passed a comment on Brahma saying that Ray is such a great personality, so he is going behind his own daughter. So, like because Brahma was in a very higher position, so these they don't have the authority to comment upon Brahma. Marichi is son of Brahma, and his sons, no, they made comment on Brahma. Brahma is like grandfather to them. So no, so then for that offense, they had to become the six children whom Kamsa killed before appearance of Balram and Krishna. So all the six children who were like born before this one, before the Krishna and Balram, so they were this six sons of Marichi who kind of passed comment on Brahma when he ran behind this one, his own daughter. So this says that like if some great personalities commit a mistake, so it is not like ordinary people's job to comment upon it. So they have to just learn that even great personalities can commit mistake. Then what happens to me? Like, no, I may also able to commit mistake. So that is a lesson to be taken there. And then later on, when Krishna later on he asks his mother, "Do you have any wish not to be fulfilled?" So then she will say that no, before you were born, so there were six children like who were born and no, who were killed by Kamsa. So I'm like I heard that to your spiritual master Sandipani Muni, you got back the dead sons, dead son. So okay, will you bring my children also back? So then Krishna brings all these six children, and they are still in the baby form, and then like mother Devaki, she feeds all the six children, and they go back to the heavenly planets as sons of Marichi. And Krishna says that because they have drunk your milk, so they became purified, and now they are going back. So like that. So in this way, like this in this pastime is related to all these incidents. Okay, purport. Balavan Indriya Gramo Vidvams Vidvamsam Api Karshati. Karshati means Akarshana. No, that is Karshati means it attracts. So even Vidvamsam Api Karshati. So even a person who is knowledgeable. So what is the connection between knowledge and getting attracted to the senses? So the natural thing is if a person is advanced in knowledge, naturally he will have sense control. No knowledge, advancement in knowledge means he is able to understand he is no spirit. So he is coming to the spiritual plane. When he is coming into the spiritual plane, automatically all the material attractions are controlled. So here it is mentioned vidvamsam api karshati. So like balavan indira grama, so the senses are very very balavan, no, and very powerful. So they can even bewilder a person who is in knowledge, no. It can actually bring a person from knowledge platform of knowledge to ignorance. That's the power of the senses. So it is said that the senses are so mad and strong that they can bewilder even the most sensible and learned man. Therefore, it is advised that one should not indulge in living alone, even with one's mother, sister, or daughter. Vidvamsam apikarshati means that even the most learned also become victims of the sensuous urge. Maitreya hesitated to state this anomaly on the part of Brahma, who was sexually inclined to his own daughter, but still he mentioned it because sometimes it so happens, and the living example is Brahma himself, although he is the primeval living being and most learned within the whole universe. If Brahma could be a victim of the sexual urge, then what of others who are prone to so many mundane frailties? This extraordinary immorality on the part of Brahma was heard to have occurred in some particular kalpa, but it could not have happened in the kalpa in which Brahma heard directly from the Lord the four essential verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, because the Lord blessed Brahma after giving him lessons on Bhagavatam that he would never be bewildered in any kalpa whatsoever. This indicates that before hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, he might have fallen a victim to such sensuality, but after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam directly from the Lord, there was no possibility of such frailties. This is one thing that happens in the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam when we heard, in the second canto when we are doing. So that time this was the Lord actually shakes hand with Lord Brahma. And then Brahma asks for this thing like, may I not fall victim to your material energy at any point in time. So then the Lord gives that assurance. So in that way, like here the acharyas actually comment that this Brahma following his daughter, it could have not happened in this kalpa. Kalpa means one day of Brahma. No, one day of Brahma is called Kalpa. So in this Kalpa or any of the future Kalpas, it cannot happen. So it could have happened in the previous Kalpas sometime. Okay. One should, however, take serious note of this incident. The human being is a social animal, and his unrestricted mixing with the fair sex leads to downfall. Such social freedom of man and women, especially among the younger section, is certainly a great stumbling block on the path of spiritual progress. Material bondage is due only to sexual bondage, and therefore, unrestricted association of man and women is surely a great impediment. Maitreya cited this example on part of Brahma just to bring to our notice this great danger. Text 29. Tam adarme kritamatim vilokya pitaram sutah marichi mukhya munayo vishrambhat pratyabodayan. Thus, finding their father so deluded in an act of immorality, the sages headed by Marichi, uh, like all sons of Brahma, spoke as follows with great respect. Okay, so this is sages headed by Marichi. The sage, like Marichi, were not in the wrong in submitting their protest against the act of their great father. They knew very well that even though their father committed a mistake, there must have been some great purpose behind the show. Otherwise, such great personalities could not have committed such a mistake. It might be that Brahma wanted to warn his subordinates about human frailties in their dealings with women. This is always very dangerous for persons who are on the path of self realization. Therefore, great personalities like Brahma, even when in the wrong, should not be neglected, nor could the sages headed by Marichi show any disrespect because of his extraordinary behavior. नैतत् पूर्वै कृतं त्वद्ये न करिष्यन्ति चापरे यस्त्वं दुहित्रं गच्छेर् अनिगृह्याङ्गजं प्रभुः. O Father, this performance in which you are endeavoring to complicate yourself was never attempted by any other Brahma, nor by anyone else, nor by you in previous kalpas, nor will anyone dare to attempt it in the future. You are the supreme being in the universe, so how is it that you want to have sex with your daughter and cannot control your desire? Purport. The post of Brahma is the supermost post in the universe, and it appears that there are many Brahmas and many universes besides the one in which we are situated. One who fills this post must be ideal in behavior, for Brahma sets the example for all living entities. Brahma, the living entity who is the most pious and spiritually elevated, is entrusted with a post next to that of the personality of Godhead. Actually, this set of slokas teaches us a lot of Vaishnava etiquette. How we should actually see a person who's more advanced. Like if he commits a mistake, how we should actually see that. So both the aspects are mentioned. One is that the sages are read by Marichi, so they are not at wrong. By telling this submitting this plea that how can you do this thing kind of thing. At the same time, we see that like great personalities, even how much ever great we are, our senses can actually drag us and pull us down. So that is also there. And furthermore, we will see some more etiquettes here. Text 31. Tejiyasam api hietan na sukslokyam jagadguru yadvrutam anutishtan vai lokah shemaya kalpate. Even though you are the most powerful being, this act does not suit you because your character is followed for spiritual improvement by people in general. Purport. It is said that a supremely powerful living entity can do anything and everything he likes, and such acts do not affect him in any way. For example, the sun, the most powerful fiery planet in the universe, can evaporate water from anywhere and still remain as powerful. The sun evaporates water from filthy places and yet is not infected with the quality of the filth. Similarly, Brahma remains unimpeachable in all conditions, but still, since he is the spiritual master of all living entities, his behavior and character should be so ideal that people will follow such sublime behavior and derive the highest spiritual benefit. Therefore, he should not have acted as he did. तस्मै नमो भगवते य इदं सेवन रोचिष रो, रोचिषा आत्मस्थं व्यञ्जयाम आस स धर्मं patum arhati. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, who by his own effulgence, while situated in himself, has manifested this cosmos. May he also protect religion for all goodness. Purport. Lust for sexual intercourse is so strong that it appears herein that Brahma could not be dissuaded from his determination in spite of the appeal by his great sons like Marichi. Therefore, the great sons began to pray to the Supreme Lord for good sense of Brahma. It is only by the grace of the Supreme Lord that one can be protected from the allurement of lusty material desires. The Lord gives protection to the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental loving service. And by his causeless mercy, he forgives the accidental fall of a devotee. Therefore, sages like Marichi prayed for the mercy of the Lord, and their prayer was fruitful. Sa yittam granata putran puro drishtva prajapati patistanvam tatyaj व्रीडितस्तदा तं दिशो जगृहुर्घोरां निहारं यद vidustamah. The father of all Prajapatis, Brahma, thus seeing all his Prajapati sons speaking in that way, became very much ashamed and at once gave up the body he had accepted. Later, that body appeared in all directions as dangerous fog in darkness. So, like Brahma gave up his body. So it is like in one lecture I was hearing, Brahma's body is fully made of intelligence. We have a body which is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. And Brahma has a body which is only intelligence and false ego. So he doesn't have other, subtle, means other gross elements are very, very less in his body. The composition is very less. So that's why it is mentioned the higher planetary system, people have ethereal bodies. They have like more subtle bodies they have. So they don't have bodies like this gross kind of this one. So for them, it is easy to give up a body and take another body. So, okay. The best way to compensate for one's sinful act is to give up one's body at once. And Brahma, the leader of the living entities, showed this by his personal example. Brahma has a fabulous duration of life, but he was obliged to give up his body due to his grievous sin, even though he had merely contemplated in his mind without having actually done it. This is a lesson for living entities, showing how sinful an act it is to indulge in unrestricted sex life. Even to think of abominable sex life is sinful, and to compensate for such acts, one has to give up his body. In other words, one's duration of life, blessings, opulence, etc., are decreased by sinful acts. And the most dangerous type of sinful act is unrestricted sex. Hare Krishna. Ignorance is the cause of sinful life, or sinful life is the cause of gross ignorance. The future of ignorance is darkness or fog. Darkness or fog still covers the whole universe, and the sun is the only counteracting principle. The one who takes shelter of the Lord, the perpetual light, has no fear of being annihilated in the darkness of fog or ignorance. So, like Krishna, when we take shelter of Krishna, so he destroys all the fog, he destroys all the sin, like that. Text 34. Kadachid dhyayatha shrashtur veda asam chatur mukhat katham shrakshyan nyaham lokan samavetan yatha puram. Once upon a time, when Brahma was thinking of how to create the worlds, as in the past millennium, the four Vedas, which contain all varieties of knowledge, became manifested from his four mouths. Purport, as a fire can consume anything and everything without being contaminated, so by the grace of Lord, the fire of Brahma's greatness consumed his desire for sinful act of sex with his daughter. The Vedas are the source of all knowledge, and they were first revealed to Brahma by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, while Brahma was thinking to recreate the material world. Brahma is powerful by dint of his devotional service unto the Lord, and the Lord is always ready to forgive his devotee if by chance he falls down from the noble path of devotional service. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.42 confirms this as follows. Swapada moolam bhajata priyasya tyaktva tvakvanya bhavasya hari pareshah vikarma cha vikarma yat chot patitam katanchit dunoti sarvam hridi sannivishtaha. Any person who is engaged 100% in the transcendental loving service of the Lord at his lotus feet is very dear to the personality of Godhead Hari, and the Lord, being situated in the heart of the devotee, excuses all kinds of sins committed by chance. He was never expected that it was never expected that a great personality like Brahma would ever think of sex indulgence with his daughter. The example shown by Brahma only suggests that the power of material nature is so strong that it can act upon everyone, even Brahma. Brahma was saved by the mercy of the Lord with a little punishment, but by the grace of the Lord, he did not lose his prestige as the great Brahma. Okay, text 35. Chaturhotram kramatantram upaveda nyayaihi saha dharmasya padas chatvaras tataivashrama vrittayaha. So different kinds of things are coming from Brahma's mouth. The four kinds of paraphernalia for conducting the fire sacrifice became manifest. So that is called Chaturhotram, right? So four kinds of paraphernalia. So what are those? The performer, that is a chanter, the offerer, um, the fire, and the action performed in terms of supplementary Vedas. Also, the four principles of religiosity: truth, austerity, mercy, and cleanliness, and the duties in the four social orders all became manifest. Purport: eating, sleeping, defending, and mating are the four principles of material bodily demands, which are common to both animals and human society. To distinguish human society from the animals, there is the performance of religious activities in terms of social statuses and orders of life. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho. Right? So the performance of dharmic activities is the distinguishing factor between animals and human beings. So, okay, so they are all clearly mentioned in the Vedic. Okay, to distinguish between the human society from the animals, there is performance of religious activities in terms of social statuses and orders of life. They are all clearly mentioned in the Vedic literatures and were manifested by Brahma when the four Vedas were generated from his mouth. Thus, the duties of humankind in terms of the statuses and social orders were established to be observed by the civilized man. Those who traditionally follow these principles are called Aryans, or progressive human beings. Okay, text 36. Vidura uvacha savai vishvasya jamisho vedadin mukha toshrajat yad yad ena shrajat devas tanme bruhi tapodanam. Sorry, tapodana. Vidura said, O great sage, whose only wealth is penance, kindly explain to me how and with whose help Brahma established the Vedic knowledge which emanated from his mouth. Okay, so now who is he telling that, oh great sage, whose only wealth is penance? No, no, no. Sorry. Vidura is telling to? Oh, Maitreya. Maitreya, yeah. Vidura and Maitreya's discussion is going on now. Right, so they are discussing this topics between Narada and next topics of creation. No, Brahma how did he create and what all happened, at the time. Okay. So now Vidura is asking little more finer details of how did this Vedic knowledge got established, or how it got propagated in the beginning. Maitreya Uvacha Rigyajur Samatharvakyan Vedan Purva Divir Mukaihi sorry, Shastram Ya Ijyam Stutistomam Prayaschittam Vyadat Kramat. Maitreya said, beginning from front face of Brahma, gradually uh, the four Vedas, that is Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva, become manifest. Thereafter, the Vedic hymns, which had not been pronounced before, priestly rituals, the subject matter of the recitation, and transcendental activities were all established one after another. Text 38. Ayurvedam Dhanurvedam Gandharvam Vedam Atmanah Stapayat Stapatyam Chashrajat Vedam Kramat Purvadibir Mukhi. He also created the medical science, that is Ayurveda, and Dhanurveda is the military science, and then musical art is called Gandharvam Vedam. So that is musical art, and then architectural science is Stapatyam, uh, Stapatyam, like that. Stapatyam means architectural. So, and then architectural science from all the Vedas, they all emanated one after another, beginning from the front face. Purport. The Vedas contain perfect knowledge, which includes all kinds of knowledge necessary for human society, not only on this particular planet, but on other planets as well. It is understood that military art is also necessary knowledge for the upkeep of social order, as is the art of music. All these groups of knowledge are called the Upapurana, or supplements of the Vedas. Spiritual knowledge is the main topic of the Vedas, but to help human beings' spiritual pursuit of knowledge, the other information, as above mentioned, forms necessary branches of Vedic knowledge. Itihasa Puranani Panchamam Vedamishwarah Sarvebhya Eva Vaktrebhyah Sashruje Sarva Darshanah. Then he created the fifth Veda, the Puranas and the histories. So this is called Panchama Veda. So the four Vedas are there, Rig, Yadur, Sama, and Atharva. So then this is like Panchama Veda, that is Puranas and Itihasas. So this Itihasas and Puranas, like they were made. So why it is called Panchama Veda? Sometimes people discount it, saying that, oh, this is not part of the main Vedas. So you are quoting from Gita. Gita is, what is that? It is part of Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a Itihasa, and this is not part of your main four Vedas. So this cannot be taken into this one. But here it's mentioned, it is counted as Panchama Veda. So that means it is fifth Veda, and it is presenting the complex logical principles in easy story form. No? So in that way, Puranas and Itihasas are also important. Okay. So he created the fifth Veda, the Puranas and histories. From all his mouths, since he could see all the past, present, and future. Purport. There are histories of particular countries and nations of the world, but the Puranas are the histories of the universe, not only in one millennium, but in the many kalpas. So it means it is cutting across many days of Brahma, this Puranas and Itihasas. Okay, Brahma has knowledge of those historical facts, and therefore all the Puranas are histories as originally composed by Brahma. They are part of the Vedas and are called the fifth Veda. It takes 40. Shodash Utkatu Purva Vaktrat Purish Angishtu Tavata Apatro Yamat Tirar Traucha Vajapayam Sagosavam. All the different varieties of fire sacrifices, Shodashi, Ukta, Purishi, Agnishtoma, Aptoryama, Atiratra and Vajapeya and Gosava became manifested from easternmost of Brahma. Vidyadanam tapassatyam dharmasyeti padani cha ashramam cha yata sankyam ashrajatsta vrittibihi. Education, charity, penance, and truth are said to be the four legs of religion. And to learn this, there are four orders of life with different classifications of caste according to vocation. Brahma created all these in systematic order. Okay. Purport: the nucleus of the four social order, that is brahmacharya or student life, grahastha or household or family life, vanaprastha or retired life for preaching penance, for practicing penance, and sannyasa or renounced order for preaching the truth, is the four legs of religion. The vocational divisions are the brahmanas or the intelligent class, the kshatriyas or the administrative class, the vaishyas or mercantile productive class, and the shudras or general laborer class, who have no specific qualifications. All were systematically planned and created by Brahma for the regular promotion of self realization. Student life is meant for acquiring the best education, that is, brahmacharya is meant for acquiring the best education. And household family life is meant for gratifying the senses. And provided it is performed with a charitable disposition of mind, retirement from household life is meant for penance and for advancement in spiritual life, and renounced penance and for advancement of spiritual life, and renounced order of life is meant for preaching the absolute truth to people in general. The combined actions of all members of society make the whole situation favorable for upliftment of the mission of human life. The beginning of this social institution is based on education meant for purifying the animal propensities of human being. The highest purificatory process is knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the purest of the pure. So here we see that that ecosystem we might have studied. Uh, what is that? Food chain. Food chain. So if food chain, if something is not there, in one animal is not there, even one insect is not there, the whole food chain will break. No, somewhere something will lacking will come. So in the same way here also it is there. Now you see that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they should be there. And then Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, Grahastha, Sannyas, all these people should be there. So that is when the society will be organized and all the needs of the society can be catered to. Otherwise it will not be possible. Text 42. Savitram Praja Patyam cha Brahmam Chatap Brihat Tatha Vartha Sanchaya Shalina Shiloncha Iti Vaigrahe. Then the thread ceremony for the twice born was inaugurated, as were the rules to be followed for at least 1 year for acceptance of the Vedas. So, like this Veda part, if we have to go for study of Vedas, then one has to get Upanayana. So, like one gets admitted in the Gurukul, and then initial preliminary Purascharya will happen. Then after that, Upanayana will happen. So after Upanayana, then the serious study of Vedas actually starts, right? So here we see that that system of how to get initiated, how to become twice born, were made, and then as were the rules to be followed for at least 1 year after acceptance of the Vedas. Rules for observing complete abstinence from sex life, vocations in terms of Vedic injunctions, various professional duties in household life, and the method of maintaining a livelihood without anyone's cooperation by picking up rejected grains. So these different things were created. Purport: during student life, the brahmacharis were given full instruction about the importance of human form of life. Thus, the basic education was designed to encourage the student in becoming free from family encumbrances. So this is the thought, this is the thing that are taught in the brahmacharya life. So even in the past, so very, very few people would stay as brahmacharis, and most of the people, like, they enter into brahmacharya ashram and they will get married. So they will get into grahastha ashram. So even though they are going to get into grahastha ashram, they are told that this grahastha ashram is a encumbrance, means it is kind of a bondage. So then the students with such education, when they enter into Grahastha ashram, they have an idea that, okay, at certain point in time, I have to come out of this Grahastha ashram. So one devotee was mentioning, Grahastha ashram is a 25-year agreement for renunciation. So it's like when he's getting married, he's making an agreement saying, after 25 years, I'll renounce. So that was the traditional value system, that it's a 25-year agreement for renunciation. So after 25 years, he has to renounce. No, so like in that way, we see that the children were nicely taught, what all the pitfalls that are there in the Grahastha ashram, and when they go through the Grahastha ashram, they become purified, and they get the inspiration to renounce. Nowadays in Kali Yuga, like everybody gets into the Grahastha ashram directly, and then till the end of the life, nobody has any desire to get out of it. They just stay on in the Grahastha ashram, so that's not very good. Okay. Only students unable to accept such a woe in life were allowed to go home and marry a suitable wife. So first, this brahmacharya principle is taught, and somebody who's not able to stay on as that, so then they are allowed to marry. Otherwise, the student would remain a permanent brahmachari, observing complete abstinence from sex life for his whole life. It all depended on the quality of students' training. We had the opportunity to meet an avowed brahmachari in the personality of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj. Such a great soul is called a Naishtika brahmachari. Text 43. Vaikanasa Valakilyau Dumbara Pena Pavane Nyase Kutichaka Purvam Bahavo Hamsa Nishkriyau. So these are all different levels of sannyas. Vaikanasa, Valakilya, and then these things are different levels of sannyas in SVC. The four divisions of retired life are the Vaikanasas, Valakilyas, Audumbaras, and Penapas. The four divisions of the renounced order of life are Kutichaka, Bhavodas, and Hamsas, and Nishkriyas. And all were manifested from Brahma. So we see that these are all the different. So this retired life means Vanaprastha. There is 4 kinds of Vanaprastha, and there is 4 kinds of sannyas order is there. Purport: the Varnashrama Dharma, or the institution of the 4 divisions and social orders of social and spiritual life, is not a new invention of modern age as proposed by the less intelligent. It is an institution established by Brahma from the beginning of creation. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnam Maya Shishtam. Right? So some people the modern neo-spiritualist and rationalist and all, they say that, oh, this is all caste system, inequality and things like that and all. It should be abolished. But this is there from the beginning of creation. So how can you abolish? This is how the make is done. When you purchase a vehicle, there is diesel vehicle is there and there is petrol vehicle is there. I say, why this partiality? Any fuel should be put in anywhere. Then the vehicle will go for toss. So in the same way, different varna, different ashramas are there for different class of people. And if we put the right people in the right place, they will be able to progress nicely in their spiritual life, right? So if you put the wrong people in the wrong place, then it's a problem. Text 44. Anvikshi Trayi Vartam Dandanitis Tataivacha Evam Vyahritas Yaschasan Pranavo Hi Asya Dadratha. The signs of logical argument, the Vedic goal of life, and also law and order, moral codes, and the celebrated hymns Bhu, Bhuhu, Bhuaha, and Swaha all became manifested from the mouth of Brahma, and the Pranava Omkara was manifested from his heart. So we see that the Gayatri Mantra came from Lord Brahma, and then all other branches of knowledge also comes from Lord Brahma. Okay. So then we have Tasyoshin Ashil Lomabhyo Gayatri Cha Tvacho Viboho Trishtum Mamsat snuto nushtub jagatyasta astanah prajapatehe. So after the art of literary expression, Ushnik was generated from the hairs on the body of the Almighty Prajapati. The principal Vedic hymn Gayatri was generated from the skin, Trishtup from the flesh, Anushtup from the veins, and Jagati from the bones of the Lord of the living entities. So here the Lord of the living entities means the Brahma. So here Anushtup, Trishtup and all is like Chanda, different chandas. So like different chandas also come, different meters in which the slokas can be pronounced. So those meters also come from the Lord, so from Brahma. Majjaya panktir utpanna brihati pranatho bhavad. The art of writing verses, pankti, became manifested from the bone marrow, and that of brihati, another type of verse, was generated from the life breath of Lord of the living entities. Okay, text 47. Sparshastasya bhavad jiva sarvo swaro deha udahrita ushmanam indriyanyahur antasta balam atmanah swaraha sapta vai viharena bhavanti sma prajapatehe. Brahma's soul was manifested as the touch alphabets, his body as the vowels, his senses as the sibilant alphabets, his strength as the intermediate alphabets, and his sensual activities as the 7 notes of music. So even the alphabets, this comes from Lord Brahma's body. So in Sanskrit, there are 13 vowels and 35 consonants. The vowels are a, I, u, r, a, I, o, and the consonants are k, kh, g, gh, etc. Amongst the consonants, the first 25 letters are called sparshas. There are also 4 antastas of the Ushma. There are 3 sha, no? Sha, sa, sa, like all those things, and called Talavya, Murdanya, and Dantya. The musical notes are sa, re, ga, ma, dha, like pa, dhani. No, pa is missing here. So it's there in the book, okay? In the online version, it is missing here. All these sound vibrations are originally called Shabda Brahma or spiritual sound. It is said, therefore, that Brahma was created in the Mahakalpa as the incarnation of spiritual sound. So the Vedas are spiritual sound, and therefore there is no need of material interpretation for the sound vibration of the Vedic literature. The Vedas should be vibrated as they are, although they are symbolically represented with letters which are known to us materially. In the ultimate issue, there is nothing material because everything has its origin in the spiritual world. The material manifestation is Hari Hari. So the material manifestation is therefore called illusion in the proper sense of term. For those who are realized souls, there is nothing but spirit. So this is also like we see that Shabda Brahma. Brahma means spirit, right? So Shabda Brahma means the spirit or the Lord in the form of sound. No, that is called Shabda Brahma. So sometimes we use this word Nama Brahmani, like Mahaprashade Govinde Nama Brahmani. So the holy name, the Lord in the form of the name, right? So in that way, here we see that this Shabda is seemingly it is there in the material sounds, what we generally call as the material sound, but how it is called as spiritual. No, only the difference between matter and spirit is if I see these entities separate from Krishna, then it becomes material. And if I know its origin from the Supreme Lord and I'm perceiving it as as its origin from the Supreme Lord, then it becomes spiritual. So that's how they are called as Shabda Brahma. Right? Text 48. Shabda Brahmatmanastasya vyakta vyaktatmana paraha brahma vabati vitato nana shaktyupa brahmhitaha. Brahma is the personal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the source of transcendental sound and is therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested. Brahma is the complete form of the absolute truth. Brahma is like not that like this two different this ones are there. No, one is like the Supreme Brahman that we call, and then the Brahma is the person or the post. No, that is there. So Brahma is the complete form of absolute truth and is invested with multifarious energies. So Brahma, we know he's an avatar, right? Brahma. What kind of avatar he is? There are different kinds of avatars are there. Shaktavesh avatar is there, then Swayam avatar is there, Guna avatar is there, Leela avatar is there. So different kinds of avatars are there. So what is Brahma? Which category of avatar? Hmm?
Is it Guna Avatar?
Yeah, Guna avatar. So Guna avatar. So like three gunas are there. Huh. Three gunas are there. So like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and Lord Vishnu. So they three in this category they are called as Guna avatar because they are in charge of various modes of nature. So Brahma here is like in one sense, if we see, is a living entity, and a demigod. And another sense, if we see, he also is representing the supreme absolute truth because he's in charge. He's been empowered to manage a very great responsibility. In that sense, he is also counted in the platform of avatars. No, so we see that avatar means it is not necessarily Vishnu. It is not necessarily Vishnu. So when Vishnu takes personal avatar, so that's Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, and things like that. And sometimes a living entity is empowered with a special capacity, so that is also called as avatar. The Lord's capacity is invested upon him, and when he acts, he will act just like the Lord in that particular capacity. Like Prithu Maharaj, he was invested with the ruling capacity of the Lord. So just like Lord Rama, he is Vishnu himself. He ruled, and exactly how he ruled, in the same way Prithu Maharaj could able to rule. He was a living entity, but then he is a Shakti avatar. Especially a special capacity is invested upon him. A special power of the Lord is invested upon him. When he acts, he will act exactly like the Lord. No, like that. So that is this one. So here also Brahma, he is invested with the like power to manage one of the modes of nature. No, so like that. So the post of Brahma is the highest responsible post within the universe, and it is offered to the most perfect personality of the universe. Sometimes the supreme personality of Godhead has to become Brahma when there is no suitable living entity to occupy the post. So if there is no suitable candidate, then the Lord himself becomes Brahma or Indra, whatever position is vacant. The Lord doesn't have any problem. He will expand and he will manage everything single-handedly. So if living entities have the desire to control, manage, and things like that, okay, fine, you do it. So if nobody is there, he can manage himself. So he's not in lack of resources. So, okay, in the material world, Brahma is the complete representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and transcendental sound, Pranava or Omkara, comes from him. He is therefore invested with multifarious energies from which all the demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna are manifested. In his transcendental value, his transcendental value is not to be minimized, even though he exhibited a tendency to enjoy his own daughter. There is a purpose for the exhibition of such a tendency by Brahma, and he is not to be condemned like an ordinary living entity. Okay, text 49. Tato param upadaya sasagaya manodade. Thereafter, Brahma accepted another body in which sex life is not forbidden, and thus he engaged himself in the matter of further creation. Purport. In his former body, which was transcendental, affection for sex life was forbidden, and Brahma therefore had to accept another body to allow himself to be connected with sex. He thus engaged himself in the matter of creation. His former body transformed into fog, as previously described. Okay. Text 50. Rishinam bhuri viryanam api sargam avistritam nyatva tad dride drdaye bhuyas chintayam asa kaurava. O son of the Kurus, um, when Brahma saw that in spite of the presence of sages of great potency, there was no sufficient increase in population, he seriously began to consider how the population could be increased. It's a big problem in the beginning of creation, recruitment problem. Text 51. Aho adbhutam etanme vyaprutasyapi nityada nahi edanthe prajanunam daivamatra vigatakam. Brahma thought to himself, alas, it is wonderful that in spite of my being scattered all over, there is still insufficient population throughout the universe. There is no other cause for this misfortune but destiny. Text 52. He's trying all his means and still it is not working. That means it is not destined to happen. So we were discussing on this topic sometime that whatever is destined to us, if we put a minimal endeavor, we will definitely get it. So if we are putting so much of endeavor and we are not getting it, that means it is not destined to us. No, at least materially speaking, that is what we should infer. But spiritual things are different. Spiritual things, we are making progress in spiritual line, so we have to put endeavor there. So but material things, how much ever you endeavor, whatever is there in the karma, only that will come. No, for that we should not put too much endeavor. Text 52. Evamukta kritastasya daivam chavekshatastada kasya rupam abhudeva dveda yatkayam abhichakshate. While he was thus absorbed in contemplation and was observing the supernatural power, two other forms were generated from his body. They are celebrated as the body of Brahma. Okay. Purport. Two bodies came out from the body of Brahma. One had a mustache and other had swollen breasts. No one can explain the source of their manifestation, and therefore until today they are known as the Kayam, the body of Brahma, with no indication of their relationship as his son or daughter. Text 53. Tabhyam rupa vibhagabhyam maitunam samapadhyata. The two newly separated bodies united together in sexual relationship. Yastu tatra puman sobhun manusvayambhuva swarat stri yasich chattarupakya mahishasya mahatmanah. Out of them, the one who had the male form became known as the Manu, named Swayambhuva, and the woman became known as Shatarupa, the queen of the great soul Manu. Text 55. Tada maituna dharmena prajahiyedam babuvire. Thereafter, by sex intelligence, they gradually increased generations of population one after another. Sachapi Satarupayam Panchapatyan Aji Janat Priyabrato Uttanapado Tishra Kanyascha Bharata Akuti Devahutischa Prasutir Iti Sattama. Okay, so from there comes the great lineages, this Priyavrata, Uttanapad, and all these personalities. Translation. O son of Bharata, in due course of time, he, that is Manu, begot in Satarupa 5 children, 2 sons, that is Priyavrata and Uttanapad, and 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. So we will see that this dynasty of this Manu, whatever we have read till now, Priyavrata, Uttanapad, and then the 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. So descriptions about them will go till 5th canto. Now we are in 3rd canto. We see that another one big part of 3rd canto is there, and 4th canto 2 parts are there. So and 5th canto is there. Like till there, this family lineage journey is going to go on. Okay, so it is 3 o'clock. How much more is there in this chapter? Last shloka. Okay, we will just read this. Akutim ruchaye pradad krama kardamayatu madhyamam dakshayadat prasutim cha yata apuritham jagat. The father Manu handed over his first daughter Akuti to the sage Ruchi, the middle daughter Devahuti to the sage Kardama, and the youngest Prasuti to Daksha. From them, all the worlds filled with population. Purport. The history of the creation of the population of universe is given herewith. Brahma is the original living creature in the universe, from whom were generated the Manu, Swayambhuva, and his wife Shatarupa. From Manu, 2 sons and 3 daughters were born, and from them, all the population in different planets has sprung up until now. So this is our own history of our own forefathers. What we are studying. It is not some different thing that we are studying. No, this is how our forefathers started. Therefore, Brahma is known as the grandfather of everyone, and the personality of Godhead, being the father of Brahma, is known as the great grandfather of all living entities, living beings. So that's why the Lord is called as Prapitamaha, something like that it comes. So this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 11:39 as follows: Vayur Yamo Agnir Varuna Shashanka Prajapatistvam Pratitamahascha Namo Namastestu Sahasrakritva Punascha Bhuyopi Namo Namaste. You are the Lord of air, the supreme justice Yama, the fire, the Lord of rains, you are the moon, and you are the great grandfather. Okay, Prapitamahascha. No, this is there. This word Prapitamahascha. So that is this one. Great grandfather. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again. Okay, so this is something like Arjuna told in Bhagavad Gita. Thus in the Bhaktivedanta purport of 3rd canto, 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Creation of the Four Kumaras and Others. So tomorrow we will have the amazing chapter of the appearance of Varahadev. Hare Krishna. So we will stop here. Nantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.